Folks, we are back here at the MCS as Kevin gets attacked by his cat. I am the M, the McAdoo. He's Kevin Capstick. I'm pointing the wrong way again. I need to learn my directions here. He's Kevin Capstick, the C in all this, and we are hosting a show here. Yeah, it was a wild day, wouldn't you say there, Kevin?
Oh my gosh, wild's an understatement. The news that came out today is probably one of the most big, busiest and biggest days in NFL in the last, I don't know, 5+ years, I would have to say. The fact that two major players are on two different teams now. Well, no. Two major players were involved with deals today. It was is absolutely amazing. Um, but we'll get into that when the time comes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll get right into it. Aaron Rodgers, it was reported he's going to come back to the Denver Broncos, to the Green Bay Packers on a 4-year, $200 million deal. He's getting paid $50 million. Not this year, but like you go AAV, he's getting $50 per year. That's how I'm going to separate it. Somehow, some way, that still brings his cap down of what he would have gotten. So the Packers decide we're going to bring back Devontae Adams on a franchise tag. I mean, a lot of people when this all came out were saying that the salary cap is a fiction that we all made up in our imaginations. With stuff like this, you have to kind of think it's true, right?
You absolutely have to. The fact that NFL teams can manipulate the cap and do the things that they're able to do with players like Aaron Rodgers. We just talked about last week about how teams how Kyler Murray is demanding so much money, and it's gonna hurt his team. But is it gonna hurt his team that much? Look at Aaron Rodgers. The amount of money he's getting paid, and the fact that they're gonna be able to keep Devontae Adams on the team is outstanding. I'm sure there's a few other things that they're gonna try to do in the offseason to help out the team. But overall, a win for the Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers seems happy, but he's gone, back and forth on whether or not he wants to play. And so I don't know. Clearly, it's a win for the Packers right now. We'll see how he's feeling at the end of next year when he loses in the NFC Championship again. So we'll see what happens then.
I mean, you never truly know. I mean, so, anyways, that leads us to the next thing, which was a big was a big news of note. Watch Kevin, easy on the scratching, easy on the scratching.
My bad.
I heard that. Like, God damn it. Okay, but anyways, you maybe this what you thought. Oh, Russell Wilson, he's going to a new team. He gets traded to the Denver Broncos. Denver's going all in. Think, okay, we need a quarterback, or why not go out and get Russell Wilson because Aaron Rodgers is no longer there, and I thought Nathaniel Hackett was being brought in to bring in Aaron Rodgers, but as you know, that didn't happen. Wilson, is he the bride in this scenario, or is he the maid honor here? Whatever the hell. Oh, he's bridesmaid, never the bride. That's what I'm saying. I can't remember stuff today.
So clearly, Russell wasn't plan A for the Broncos, but he's a really good plan A too. So don't get me wrong, Russell Wilson, future Hall of Famer in his own right. Aaron Rodgers, clearly a Hall of Famer, but the Packers went out and hired their head coach to bring in Aaron Rodgers, and the fact that they didn't bring him in, but brought in probably the second best quarterback in the market. Available this offseason is really good for that roster. Her team has young wide receiver core. Definitely probably now Russell Wilson moved from the previously hardest division in the league to now the hardest division in the league. With two teams in the Raiders and Chargers who easily could have made the playoffs last year, and then Chiefs who are a playoff bound every single year. until something happens with Patrick Mahomes. But that division is definitely interesting now. I'm happy to see Russell Wilson go to a new team and succeed. I kind of adopted the Seahawks as my second team once Marshawn Lynch went there. And then once he left, I was like, well, Russell's pretty cool. They're kind of my second team for a while when the Bills were having their woes through the past uh, 15 years. But since
go ahead.
but then they succeeded, and now Russell Wilson is going to be on another team who I think has more issues than people want to talk about. The defense isn't what it was before when they went their Super Bowl runs, and you don't have Miller anymore. So I don't think the defense is as good as it used to be. But the offense, if Judy and Sutton are what they say they could be, they talk about a very dangerous offense with a good young running back, and maybe, who knows, maybe Gordon will come back and you have a good 1-2 punch in that running back room. Really, really, really dangerous offense in a division that has 3 extremely good offenses, and then the Raiders' offense, who is okay, but man, high-powered offense in that division.
The Raiders make the playoffs over these Broncos that we talked about. The Broncos, we'll start with the Broncos, but I just want to point out the Raiders there. The Broncos, they had a great defense last year. This is going to be a scary team going forward, and hopefully, because we're both Bills fans, the Chiefs aren't going to take both the games against the Broncos anymore. That's going to help every other team in the AFC attempt to get to the number 1 seed. And right now, you've seen, well, last year it wasn't the Bills and Chiefs, but it was the Titans. And I would suspect that again this year, but it's going to be probably between the Bills and Chiefs again. Because you don't know how we both saw how Derrick Henry was in the playoff game. I don't know how he did that poorly. Besides, he was coming off an injury. Could he go back to being DH2K again? Brian Tannehill, what's up with him? We both saw the disastrous interceptions that he threw in the playoff game that cost me my Titans' future. But not going to get into that. I mean, there's a lot of question marks going forward, especially with but that's Titans time. Why am I getting the Titans? It's almost the Broncos. Yeah, the Broncos. I told you earlier, Noah Fant. I'm super happy now. He's got a quarterback, and I'm gonna have a tight end who can probably catch touchdowns in my dynasty league. Well, sure enough, doesn't he get shipped off in this trade? So let's review. That's bold from Mr. Who is the Wolf there.
It's possible. I could see it. That's a tough division. The AFC is a tough conference. You're going to have to win probably 11 plus games, I'm thinking, in this conference to push the playoffs. You're going to have that one team that squeaks in with 10. But man, it's going to be tough. That's a hard division. Hard conference in general. You think, what are your I know it's really early. You can't do predictions, but you have the Bills winning. Bengals, but that division that the Ravens aren't going to be out of it.
No, the Ravens didn't make the playoffs this year because everyone got hurt.
Exactly.
Everyone besides Justin Tucker, and Justin Tucker is the reason why they won as many games as they did.
Yeah, and then you have the Colts and the Titans again, who they were both playoffs teams this year. Well, not playoff teams, but easily should have been playoff teams. And then you have that division where you have 3 legitimate teams that can make the playoffs. And Raiders went through all they went through and still made the playoffs this year. That's a lot of stuff that could be happening in this conference, and it's scary for whatever teams are trying to build to try to make it, because the bar just got set up that much higher. The bar just moved up. You got a Pro Bowl quarterback coming over on a roster that's just missing a quarterback. Bar just got lifted that much more. Insane.
All right, that's down the line. Let's get back into now, and let's talk about this trade. Well, we already talked about the trade, but here's what the official trade was. Broncos, they're setting Drew Lock, Noah Fant, and defensive lineman Shelby Harris, along with 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick to the Seahawks for Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick. I think that Denver may have overpaid.
Oh, overpaid. It's hard to say about overpaid. Russell Wilson still, he's older in his career, but as a quarterback, he still has a couple years. He has 5+ years left in his tank.
Yeah, but what's his
Um,
current contract on? What is he on his current contract? That's my question.
that I don't know.
How much of a
That's a
rental
good,
is it? I'm-
the way overpaid.
so he's under contract for 2 more years. He's got 2022 and
2 more years.
2023. So this could be
They give.
yeah, he's way overpaid according to Wolf here. But I mean, for 2 years, you're sending 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. That you're going all in the next 2 years if you don't, unless you're going to re-sign Russell Wilson. And
You
by the
have to
time
win
that
the Super
Russell's
Bowl.
yeah, Russell will be 35 at the end of the second year here. There's a lot riding on these next 2 years because you're selling a lot for all this. Because Drew Lock. I'm still gonna say he's a question mark. We haven't fully seen his potential. We didn't see him a lot last year. He's had a couple injuries here and there, I believe, and so we don't know what he has. Noah Fant, you gave up a top 10 tight end. We'll say we don't really know because of the quarterback play.
Potential's there though, absolutely.
And then Shelby Harris was on a great defensive line that went along with the edge rushers that were Von Miller, and looks like Von Miller will be back in blue and orange, and so along with all those picks. So there's like I said, it's like Wolf said here, it's gonna be tough going forward for the Broncos.
But that's who the Broncos are, though. That's what they've been for the last couple of years, though. You even think about back to when they got Peyton Manning. They will ruin their future for the current situation right now.
But the Broncos are also built. I mean, if you go back and think, well, like this team is also built, but like they didn't have to give up 2 first rounds, 2 second rounds, a 5th, and all their players to get Peyton Manning. They were able to sign them because the Colts were like, yeah, we're cutting you. We're gonna get Andrew Luck.
It's true. It's true.
And so you have to they need to hope it works out. That's all I'm gonna say. Because you're giving up that much, you have to bring home a Super Bowl.
You have to, absolutely.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Okay, so speaking of, well, it's not. There's no. How do I transition to this next one? I have no idea. I guess did you happen to put a Super Bowl future in for next year on the Broncos after that trade?
Oh no, I haven't even know.
I bet this guy didn't because he got suspended for gambling. And a little curveball.
Yes.
Calvin Ridley has been suspended at least until the end of the 2022 season for gambling. Thoughts?
So first thought is, as a player in the NFL, you know you can't be doing that. That's first thought number one. You can't be doing that. First thought number one. Second thought, 17 games? That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So, I saw this post today. Ray Rice? Nope. It was Ray Lewis. Beat a woman. Suspended 2 games.
No, it was Ray Rice. Ray Rice.
Oh, Ray Rice.
Come on.
Perfect. 2 games he's suspended for. And then there's just a list of suspensions.
Yeah, 6 games. Tyreek Hill, nothing.
Yes.
Tyreek Hill got nothing. Who got 18? I don't remember.
And then that might have been Gordon for his marijuana.
6 years.
Yeah. Yes. So like you did something you're not supposed to be doing with gambling. I understand you're not supposed to be doing that.
Antonio Brown got 4. Was it 4? How many games did Antonio Brown get for faking his Vax card? I think it was 3. That's a felony.
Yeah.
That's a freaking felony.
And he was betting on games. 17's a lot. I think a fine would be sufficient for this. Versus
$1,000
all the
for
other
that
things
one.
that, compared to all the other things that players can do, he should be fined. He wasn't playing in the games. He shouldn't have been. You're not supposed to be doing it as a player. But 17 games, that's ridiculous. Honestly, I don't know what the NFL screwed the pooch on this one. I have to say.
Yeah. Well, I can see it from both sides. One, Calvin Ridley is a signed member to an NFL team, so he's going to have all this knowledge that other people are around him that you and I are not going to have. So it can be seen as insider trading because you're going to know the knowledge and you're going to dump it. You're going to use it to your advantage to bet on the games. So that's one thing. Like what did he know? Why is that happening? Like he's going to know more. Like the usage of player. Well, we'll say Josh Allen's hurt one week. He's going to know if he's going to go or not. He's going to know if he does go, like what he's going to be utilized as. So he knows all this. He's going to know more than you or I for that game. On the other hand, the NFL needs to be completely transparent with this because if not, they've already been scrutinized because the length is bull, and when you're sponsored by FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, BetMGM, and all these other sports books, it's not a good look when you're suspending one of your players for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people like saying, "Oh, he has a mobile sports bet in Georgia," and Georgia hasn't legalized it. It's like, so we can go to New Jersey and go gamble there using the sports books. It's all that matters is your geolocation at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just think it's NFL overreach. I think the protect the shield. I need to go out the window here because it's not protecting the shield. You're damaging the brand when you make stupid stuff like this. Depending on what Ridley actually did. Now, Emmanuel Acho did post a video yesterday, where it looked like he chronicled every time that not every time, it was a 2 minutes long video of Calvin Ridley, where it looked like he was throwing games. So.
Interesting.
I mean, I watched the video. I wouldn't say the evidence is all there, but it's something at least. I'm not gonna lie.
Interesting.
Okay. Now, to our point that we both of us, you and I just talked about this last night, and we're just like, okay, yeah, we'll do it because I watched a YouTube show called Clickbait Sports. I'm sure no one else probably knows that besides me. And last week they talked about their best players at each position for their favorite teams. And it's like, okay, we'll do that. I think Kevin and I should do that because we're both Bills fans. So, yeah. Kevin, are you ready to get started on our best Bills of all time?
Yes. Are we repeating names or no? I have a whole list of people.
I think it's just who we think is the best at that position. I'm not gonna. If you say Josh Allen, I'm not gonna go. Oh, I'll take Jim. No, we'll both say Josh Allen, and I think it's where we're both gonna start with quarterback.
Absolutely. He surpassed Jim at this point. I hope he can bring as much success, if not more success, than what Jim Kelly did. 4 Super Bowls is monumental. It's something amazing, but we want to hold it up. So that's what we're going for, and I think he could do it. I think he can.
Yeah, you can make a case for Jim Kelly, I believe.
I think you could. He's a Hall of Famer. Like, how can you not? I mean, that's saying a lot right now that Josh Allen's going into his 5th year. And we're
putting him in the same
him over
conversation. Oh yeah,
over the Hall of Fame quarterback. Like, that's crazy. What the career he's going to be having right now, insane. Is just straight up from here, and it's happy to be a Bills fan. A little less happy now that the AFC is completely crowded with good quarterbacks, but still, we have ours.
It was crowded before Russ came over. But yeah, we talked about this a lot. Well, about how good Josh Allen is. There's still some people who want to call him a bust. Those people we are called idiots. As far as him comparing him to Jim Kelly, yeah, I think you can make the comparison now because he's passed Jim Kelly on how many yards in a season, how many touchdowns in a season. He had 42 total last year. He's getting done
Yeah.
with just more than his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And not only like we could talk about it. Now I'm going to go too far here probably, but we talk about him on the field. Look at the stuff that he's done off the field. He's embraced Buffalo. Like Buffalo is like his second home. Obviously, it's his second home, but like he's made this like incredible place to be for the Bills. Like the Bills, how many years ago were like no one wanted to come here.
Mm-hmm.
Now people are saying like, oh yeah, let's go play with Josh Allen. So I think
that's something that Jim was doing back in the '90s too, because the Bills. Look at him. Jim Kelly didn't want to come to Buffalo because it was Buffalo, and then next thing you know, Jim's there, and the bus is rolling, and people are getting on, and so it's a very cool parallel between the two, and I think Jim Kelly ends and Josh Allen's just keep on going, which is super exciting. He wasn't going to be able to bring it to us, but I am extremely confident right now with our young quarterback.
Yeah. So I think our running backs are going to be the same too.
Probably.
I'll let you go first though, and I might throw a curveball just so I go different. But go ahead.
Thurman Thomas. He was an MVP. Like we haven't had an MVP running back. We haven't had a good running back. Honestly, a really good one in a while.
LaShawn.
Marshawn was...
No, not Marshawn. Marshawn was doo-doo when he was in Buffalo. I said LaShawn McCoy.
Oh, LaShawn. Yeah, Sean McCoy's good. Not any level that Thurman
Not
was,
Thurman
though.
Thomas level.
But definitely, it could be second since Thurman. Definitely could be second since Thurman. So, yeah, but I'm curious in what your thought is here.
Yeah, depending on what you said, I was gonna say LaShawn McCoy just because I was like, okay, we'll be different.
Yeah.
But I can't lie, you can't go against Thurman Thomas. Thurman Thomas is probably top 5 Buffalo Bill all time, and 34 is not retired for no reason.
Yeah. And
almost screwed up and said 32, and I think it's retired for a completely different reason. And I don't want to knife him. We better name him.
The Juice was on my list. The Juice is there. He's my second running back right now.
No, don't give him.
Yes, he is.
He's a murderer, Kevin. Come on.
No, he wasn't found. Okay. He was not convicted.
Oh my God, you and Johnny Cochran. If the glove doesn't fit, then you must have quit. Go out, get out of here.
You're absolutely right. He was running away before running away was cool. You know that? He was running away from blockers and running away from defenders. Because he was a really good running back in Buffalo. Really good running back.
Yeah, he was. He was the first one to have 2,000 yards in 14 games. So I mean, it's something.
Yeah. So, yeah. Then I didn't say the Juice because clearly there's some controversy there. But Thurman, by far, he's an MVP. There hasn't been that many MVPs on the Bills rosters over the years. The fact that he was one, you can't keep him off this list.
All right. So now, I said 2 wide receivers.
Yep.
That way we maybe have some difference here. I'll say my first one. I'm gonna take. I almost screwed up and said the wrong one. I'm gonna take Andre Reed. Andre Reed is in the Hall of Fame. He's on the Bills Hall of Fame. You have to take him here. Now, I'll let you go for 2, only because I don't think you're going to say my second one.
So, I think you're actually kind of surprised here. I have Lee Evans. Lee Evans, to me, was probably one of the best offensive weapons the Bills had during the drought. I think he was very good. He is underrated, extremely underrated. I like the way he played in Buffalo, is Lee Evans, and I want to do something different. But Andre Reed, clearly Hall of Famer, probably the best receiver to suit up for the Bills. But I like Lee Evans as a sneaky underdog pick here for my team.
Yeah, I knew you weren't going to say the other guy. That's why I was like, okay, I better go first. Eric Moulds. Eric Moulds, it was phenomenal. Late 90s, early 2000s on the Bills. And I think he kind of no pun intended, molded Lee Evans into what he was on the Bills. And Bolts was there for the last playoff game before the start of the drought. And growing up, he was like the guy I wanted to be like. I wanted to be a wide receiver just like him, and I would always throw him the ball in Madden because that's who I want. Like, that's the guy I want. Like, so maybe a little bit biased there, but I'm still going to say Eric Mold's probably the second best wide receiver in Bills history.
I like that too. I didn't have him written down, but he was in the back of my head. I have a signed jersey of Eric Moulds that I got and absolutely love it. Surprising one here, I have a Don Beebe. He had a little run in Buffalo in the 90s. And of course, he was on, I think he was on...
Green Bay. Green Bay won the Super Bowl.
He won the Super Bowl with Green Bay after leaving Buffalo. Watching the podcast, he was a huge part of that team those couple years Super Bowl run. And you don't hear his name as much as you hear Andre Reed. But he was a huge part of that offense. Huge part of that offense. And I have him on the list. And if I just say my last one that I have, Stephon Diggs. I mean, come on. It's Stephon Diggs. Recency biasy. But
yes, but my thing is with him, he's only been on the team for 2 years.
That's right. You're right. But trajectory here, we're looking pretty good for Diggs on the Bills.
He probably will be a Bills legend here, but for now I'm going to keep him off because he's not Eric Moulds or Andre Reed. Okay, tight ends.
Let me say before we continue, this list for me not only is probably best players but favorite players for me as well. So the more I'm looking at this list, that's what it's looking like. So tight end was really, really hard for me. I said Scott Chandler. I liked Scott Chandler in Buffalo. I liked the energy he brought. I remember the game that had to be relocated to Detroit because there was probably like 13 feet of snow at the Ralph. So they moved it to Detroit, and he scores a touchdown. I don't even know who it's against, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And you see him in the end zone scooping snow. That is probably my favorite Scott Chandler moment that I can think of in my head right now. And that is why I have him down. The Bills haven't had that many crazy tight ends throughout the history of their team. So it took me a while. So I'd like, you know what? Scott Chandler. That's who I'm picking. Statistically, probably not the best, but that's who I have.
You know, we talk about recency bias for wide receivers. So this one might be a little bit more recency bias, but I can defend mine, I believe. Give me Dawson Knox. So a lot of people are going to be like, why Knox? The guy had 8 to set the Bills' single-season touchdown record for a tight end last year with 8. He didn't have the best start in Buffalo. I mean, a lot of people wanted him to be cut, but go back to his rookie season. I fell in love with the guy when he played against the Bengals when he just absolutely freaking stiff-armed one guy, barreled into another and for that big play. And then against the Patriots, he had that long-ass touchdown. Not touchdown. It was called a touchdown at first, but they called it back, said he was down at the 1.
Yep. So, remember that.
So where are you guys calling him Stonehands then? Why you guys not calling him Stonehands anymore? Look at this. Go back to the last Patriots game and his first touchdown. When Allen said, "Yeah, I'm just trying to throw it up and try to get to the back of the end zone." That wasn't me. It's just a throwaway. Here's Knox in the back of the end zone catching it. So I don't. Where are all you Knox haters now? I've been a fan since the start. So
I was a Knox hater, and I'm happy that I'm wrong. I'm happy, and I can admit that. I'm happy that I'm wrong. I wanted to like him. I wanted to, but the drops to me were just too much. But he solved that issue. He had a few, like, no-brainer drops, but everyone's going to have those. But, yeah, I was one of them. He was my second person on my list. Recency bias, and he's just a fun player to watch.
Yeah, if you go back to my Twitter this year, there's a lot of times I'm just, like, using the GIF where it's like, what? Where are you haters now? Like, but it is what it is. Okay, offensive lineman.
Boring. Eric Woods. Uh, that's who I have. I was kind of sad that he wasn't able to play with Josh Allen for that long.
Did he?
I
I
was
thought he
hope
retired before.
he might have retired right before. I don't remember, but I know that he wanted to. I was listening to him pregame this year. Maybe it's that he didn't want that he wasn't able to, but that he wished he could have been there and hiked the ball to Josh at least once. Um, and he is still in the community now. He still does the pregame. He does the commentary. He does play-by-play for WGR during games. Um, most I think consistent. He's probably throughout the drought probably the one of the longest besides Kyle Williams tenure players
Yeah,
on the entire team.
Williams was one when they booked his streak. I should think Williams was one and Will for the longest on the team.
And that's just me pulling it out of my head. So clearly he's been there for a long time, and that's something that to me as a Bills fan means a lot. That you're going to sit here on a team that wasn't successful, and you're going to stay here, and even stay here afterwards. That means a lot as a fan. Like even Kyle isn't here, um, doing what Eric is doing. So to me, that has put him into one of my probably favorite offensive linemen ever for the Bills.
You know, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm gonna go back to the '90s before both of us were born. I gotta say Ken Hull. Ken Hull was a guy who helped the Bills get into the Super Bowl 4 times. Unfortunately, didn't get that ring, and I believe he's passed on, but he helped the Bills. Like I said, he helped the Bills get to the Super Bowl 4 times, and this team, without him, the Bills might not have got there. So, well, I'll go ahead and say Ken Hull. I feel like I know what both of us are going for defensive line.
How can you not?
If you don't say Bruce Smith, I'm going to come there and slap you.
How can you not say Bruce Smith?
Okay, there you go.
How can you not? He's one of the best defensive linemen in NFL history. So of course he's going to have to be on this list for the best Bills players. So yes, Bruce Smith. I don't know what else to say about that besides Hall of Famer. I mean, he's one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah, 200 sacks in an era where they didn't throw the ball a lot. So, I mean, I think that says all you need to. So, linebacker here for the Bills.
So I've adopted a favorite player, and because I got a couple signed stuff from him, and then I was coincidentally gifted a football card for Christmas this year. Cornelius Bennett for linebacker. He's one of the best linebackers the Bills I think they've ever had. He was in that Super Bowl run, and kind of adopted him, and not until recently realized that he was a pretty good player too, as linebackers were in that time. You have to stop the run, and he was a run stopper, which he was. But Cornelius Bennett is who I have picked for linebackers. Another hard position for me to come up with.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of, like we talked about earlier, I probably should not go for recency bias, but I am. Tremaine Edmonds. I mean, he's there already, I believe. He's made a lot of plays for the Bills, and when he's not out there, you can just feel the defense is lacking kind of, and so it just goes to show you how good of a player he is. So I'm going to take a young guy in Tremaine Edmonds.
Tremaine Edmonds is currently my favorite Bills player on the team.
Over Allen and Diggs.
Yeah, absolutely. So where I'm on the same page as you here. Tremaine Edmonds is really good. Where do people come up with the mindset that he's not good. In that, I he misses his gaps every now and then. He's a Pro Bowler.
I don't know.
Like,
People like it either to be perfect or you just suck apparently. Because look, you can make a lot of cases where McDermott and Leslie Frazier and Brian Dable. So
hmm and and I like Tremaine Edmonds, and I'm hoping that they could figure out a contract for him coming up this year. So I want him to stay. I don't think people realize how important he is to the defense until he's not there, and I hope that the defense won't have to come to that realization if they don't get him back next year.
yeah.
Um,
All right, corners.
Trey Day. Tre'Davious White. He has the goaltending academy and down in Buffalo. He's a Hall of Fame goalie in Louisiana. Like, he has it all. He is an amazing locker room guy. He is a Pro Bowler. He is what I look for a franchise cornerstone as a player. He plays well in the field. He's a good leader, and he's great for the community. He checks all the boxes, and that's why he is my number one corner on the Bills in NFL history, in their history, in the Bills' history.
Yeah, and that's where I think you have to go. There's not really a lot of other corners you could even bring up here besides Tre'Davious White.
No.
I want to say Terrence McGee, but I don't think that's the only other one I can name, really. And I don't know if he was that great when he was on the Bills, besides being a kick returner, if I remember correctly.
The only other corner that I thought about putting on here, and that wasn't because his play was not even close to what Tre'Davious White was, but mine was Leotis McKelvin. I like McKelvin.
Can't touch him.
Not even close. That was just he was one of my favorite Bills. He's probably top 10 for me, but his skill level isn't even close to what Tre'Davious is. So that's why White has to be the number one corner, at least in the past 20 years.
Yeah. The other thing is, like we said before, there's really no one you can really compare it to.
No.
I can't think of anyone from the '90s Bills either. So, all right, I'll start off. I'll start safeties off because I got this right here, and I believe it's Micah Hyde. If I can, there you go, Micah Hyde. I'll give it to him as best safety because, I mean, ever since he came to Buffalo, he's just been a high tier guy. Been getting the picks and whatnot. Strip the ball when he can. He's just been a high octane guy, and he has that motor to make this Bills defense a lot better.
Out of the box here, I have a lot of favorite players that were a part of the drought era of the Bills. I have, I'm gonna butcher his first name. I don't want to. Oh my gosh, why? Oh my gosh, Bird. I had it and now I'm gonna butcher it. Bird, 31.
Jarius,
yes, Jarius Bird. Again, one of those players in the drought. One of the better players that they had, and I could have gone Micah. I could have gone Jordan. I like. Those aren't bad options. If I had to choose between those two, I probably would have chose Poirier just because I'm all for the underdog, and Poirier is overlooked in every way possible. But again, I want to go outside the box, so I went Jarius Bird.
Yeah, and you have to love Jordan Poyer's story about overcoming alcoholism and all that. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Pretty sure it was the Players Tribune. It was, I believe, that did the video on YouTube.
We have one more player first.
No, we have more
one
than
more
that.
position.
We have more than. I think we have more than that, and he's never going to comment again. Okay, special teamer, go.
I have Steve Christie. Kicker. I believe during the 90s. Accurate kicker. That's another hard one. I could have went a couple different options, but I want to put some respect on a kicker's name, and that's who I have for my Bills special teamer.
I'm disappointed in you, Kevin. I really am. You have the right era. You have the right first name.
Tasker. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
That's the easy one though as a Bills fan. Saying Steve Tasker.
But
and I want someone different.
But it's time for me to put the respect on his name that he deserves. He should be in the Hall of Fame, and the fact that he's not in the Hall of Fame is dog duty. So, you want to talk about revolutionizing a position? That is what this guy did. 89 for the Buffalo Bills back in the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, look, he came into the league as a wide receiver, and Marv Levy held him out just so he could be a gunner on fourth down. He was like the first guy getting double teamed on punts. He is a guy that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and it's criminal that he's not. I believe that you should never see a special teamer in the Hall of Fame if Steve Tasker's not in. And guess what? Steve Tasker is out of eligibility. So, what does that say about Devin Hester? What does that say about Cordero Patterson? What does that say about all these other good kick returners?
That's a strong take, and I agree with it. He's the best player to do it at his position. To me, that means you're a Hall of Famer. Regardless of the position, if you're the best player at that position all the time, you should be in the Hall of Fame. And that is something that all Bills fans probably agree on. He should be in the Hall of Fame. And it's sad that he won't be anytime soon. So, very, very sad. Is there anyone else on your list that you thought you had that we didn't talk about, or did you get to everyone?
I'm pretty sure I got to mine. There's really no list for me. It was just who I thought at the best position and whatnot. So, it is what it is. We'll go. I think that's it for that segment. So, it's your spotlight, Kevin. Take care of it.
Yeah, so Sabres sucked recently. I'm going to be completely blunt and honest.
7-1!
Yeah, bad. I was really excited for Sunday's game. Super excited about it. It was a kid's day. Super excited, and the game was boring. Really, really boring. The first goal didn't happen until the third period. Late in the second. And then it was just a boring, slow game. And then you move on to last night, and they lose 6-1. I'm happy to see that Sam Reinhart got in the score sheet, but he wasn't a scorer; he was an assist. He was the primary assist. I don't know, their fifth goal. It doesn't really matter. There's 5 of them.
Chad, what are you doing to your mic?
My mic? Oh yeah, I touch my computer. I do that a lot. But again, it kind of sad. Last couple games. Friday's game against the Wild, that was entertaining. 5-4 victory. That was the Jeff Skinner show. Very, very fun game to watch. I mean, I can spiel on about how the future's bright, because it still is. But I do that every week, so I'm just
we'll do that. We'll do that in the off season. But for now, we're still playing games, and it's actually there's something I forgot to put in the rundown. It's my turn actually. Yeah. You see this team on my hat and the flag back here. It's Buffalo. It's conference week. The Buffalo Bulls are making a run at the MAC. It starts tomorrow for the women, and the men will play. On Thursday. Yes, I got my days right. Tomorrow it's 3:00 for the women. As my co-host is making a lot of noise behind the sounds, it's screwing me up. The women have a 3 o'clock date tomorrow against. I will find that out. And the men have Akron in a 5-4 matchup at 1:30 on Thursday. Give me a second here. I want to look up and make sure I have this right before I screw up. Western Michigan is who the women play tomorrow on ESPN Plus. The men also play on ESPN Plus on Thursday. Yeah, it's put up or shut up time because if they don't win this tournament, they're not making March Madness, and that would make for a sad McAdoo. And it looks like Kevin has a toy, so Jesus Christ, go.
Okay, so after some requests, again, I'm here as a podcaster on my off time to entertain. And if someone requests something, I will go out and answer those questions. I have recently gotten a new vacuum. This is the cordless, brushless Ryobi cordless vacuum. So, battery operated, it charges. It has like 6 hours charge life.
If you hate this segment, just blame the guy on the screen. I'm just going to point that out to you right now.
It's extremely loud.
Who's handling
very,
and
very
the comment guy.
Small. Canister to hold. Very easy. You just click that button and it all flops out. It looks like this, and it has this kind of brush on the top of it. It is a vacuum, so it is disgusting. Get over it. It has like a 6 hour charge. It has 2 power. It has two louds. But one's I would assume. See, look it. I want to assume is a more powerful vacuum, and the second one is not as powerful. If I read the instructions, I could probably figure out which one I should be using in my carpet. But I haven't. And this is what I use quite frequently to vacuum my apartment. I would say I probably use this vacuum probably once every 2 days. But I will demonstrate how you empty the canister out. Like I said, just easy click, all falls in. Like I said, super easy, convenient. Was this expensive? Yeah, it's a vacuum. Was I happy that I bought it? No. I had to wait if it lasted 6 more months, I could have got one on my registry for my wedding, but no. It didn't. It broke some random Saturday, so I had to buy a new one. Very disappointed and sad. But again, if you have questions, you want them answered, please send them my way and we will get these answered.
I hate this guy. I hate this guy. I hate you for doing that. I hate him for asking the question because this is so stupid.
You're absolutely right. It could. And so
stop!
These right here, I was asked about these. So this one holds an attachment and this one holds the vacuum. And they come together like this and you screw them in the wall. You hold them in like skadoosh. I'm not going to do it backwards. But whatever. Oh, like this. You put them in like this and you put it on the wall. You probably want to put some drywall things in. I can't remember the name, but they're colorful, and you drill a hole in it, and then you put it in, you hammer it in, and you and then you screw it in that. Very easy, convenient. I would recommend it. I got Ryobi so that when I grow up and become an adult, I have my own tool set. I can have Ryobi, and I can just interchange all the batteries. Super convenient. If you're looking to recommend a vacuum and a hardware company service, you're absolutely right. It does, but I'm not going to continue to talk about this. I can talk about vacuums for ages. So we're just going to end it. But again, if you have comments, questions about anything that you need answered in your daily life, yes, this is a sports podcast, but I'm just here to have fun and to entertain and make your life better.
I just want to point out, I hate that segment. It's so stupid, and it's going to keep happening because of one idiot.
Well, I mean, I heard earlier that someone said, idiot is a strong word. Use the phrase ill-minded. So, you have to listen to the people. The people are right here.
You're right. Okay, he's ill-minded. Is that better?
If that makes the shepherd hunter feel better, then absolutely. It works for me.
Yeah. All right, Kevin. Do you have any Tippity. I hate this.
Dippity-doo.
Kevin, stop. Before he continues, do you have any parting words for the people?
No, I will see you next week.
Yes, he's been Kevin. I'm pointing the wrong way again. I'm gonna learn one of these days. I hate this. He's Kevin Capstick. I'm Zach McAdoo. Good night.